I think. Welcome back to the Little Rooker Show. We just went over a little bit of NBA free agency. LeBron and his announcement yesterday. Also, there's a couple signings going down today. Now we're gonna go over some baseball. Big news out of the Bronx, New York. Wednesday or Thursday was that Japanese star Tanaka out 6 to 8 weeks with a slightly torn collateral ligament. That's an indication he might need Tommy John surgery. He's going to give it some rest and see what happens. But it's not looking good. No CC Sabathia. That pitching staff is depleted right now. And with not so production from Derek Jeter, Beltran, and Teixeira, they're Yankees. They're 5 back now. It's only gonna get worse. Red Sox designate for assignment catcher AJ Pierzynski. So he's got 10 days to decide what he wants to do. And we got a big ball game tonight at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies and Nationals. Pretty nice pitching matchup tonight. Steven Strasburg against Cole Hamels. That's on Fox at 7 o'clock. As for the Phillies, about a couple weeks ago, they were hot. They had that nice stretch. They swept the Braves at Atlanta. They were only, four or 5 games out. A couple games under 5. Like, things were looking up. Maybe they might be a contender. Then they went on this last road trip. Started out in Miami. Did not look good. I went on here last week and saying this is probably the biggest series. They need to pick it up. Well, they go into Milwaukee. They were leading the Central Division. And for the first time in team history, swept Milwaukee at Milwaukee. Pretty much dominated them. Thursday, they were getting no hit. Come back and score 9 unanswered runs and won 9-1. And then last night, turn around and beat the Nationals 6-2 pretty handily. I can't figure them out. But they're getting quality starting pitching. Pitching has not been an issue with this team, surprisingly, and that was a question mark going into the season as to the bullpen. The bullpen was the main question mark. They've just been flat out phenomenal, dominant, among the best in baseball right now. Hernandez had a good start. Now they just sent Buchanan down to make room for another guy. Cliff Lee is supposedly coming back next Friday when they go to Atlanta again. Chooch will be probably back next week. So they're getting quality pieces. So Philly's got a decision to make who they're gonna send back to the minors when Chooch comes back and Cliff Lee. But Hernandez, Kendrick had a good start. The offense, they're getting really good production from people up and down the lineup, which is what they want. Grady Sizemore, a new addition, got a hit last night. So this is gonna be interesting. They win tonight. They'll be only 7 out with a win tonight. Washington and Atlanta are in a virtual tie for first. This is in the East. Washington and Atlanta, they're virtual tie. Miami's 5.5 back. Mets are 7 back. Philly 8 back. Philly, they're 42 and 51. They sweep out the Nationals. That would put them at a 7-game going into the All-Star break. And they're going to Atlanta next week after the break is over. And last time they were there was a couple weeks ago, and they swept them. under Sandberg, it's I don't know if they're a second half team. Under Charlie, they were notorious for being a. It could be interesting if they can sweep the Nationals, and then go to Atlanta and take maybe 2 out of 3 or sweep them. I'm not saying they're going to definitely win the division, but they're in the conversation, and it's just flat out amazing with how bad they have played where they're at right now. I don't get it, but if they're going to have one of their second halves like they've had in the past, I would not want to play Philly right now. And it could be very exciting, and it's going to put pressure then on the front office. What they're going to do, if they're going to add pieces, because they've been talking that they're going to get rid of some. As of last week, they were talking. So it's going to get interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what they do at the trade deadline. But Phillies are playing some good ball. Let's go. Philly right now, they're like I believe they're like 5 or 6 out of the wild card spot. So let's go down the National League standings. Milwaukee, they're only a game up on St. Louis. Cincinnati's a game and a half back. Pittsburgh's 3.5. I think the Cubs are done. They're 11 back. West, San Francisco and the Dodgers, virtual tie. I think them are the top 2. I think the rest of the divisions, they're done. Padres are 10 back. Colorado 11. Arizona's like 12 or 13. I think they're out. In the East, probably my surprise team, on a positive note, in all of baseball, is the Baltimore Orioles, the way they're playing. They're 3 up on Toronto. Baltimore's 10 up. And I think they got, you have to say, the offseason, they got the biggest acquisition in all of baseball in getting Nelson Cruz. I think tied for the league in homers with 27. He's just putting up phenomenal numbers. That's probably the best move in baseball, in my opinion, was them getting. And he was sitting there for the Phillies to take him, and I wish if Philly could have got him. Imagine where Philly could be with him in that Citizens Bank Park. So Baltimore, and then the Yankees are 5 back, and they're in deep trouble. Red Sox and Tampa Bay, those are my shocking result. Them 2 teams where they're at. My second probably shocking team is the Kansas City Royals. The way they're playing, they're 6.5 behind Detroit in the Central Division. Cleveland's 7.5. And then the White Sox in Minnesota, they're 10.5, 11.5 back. And then in the West, probably the most surprising team in baseball on a negative side is the Texas Rangers. They just had injuries of losing Cecil Fielder, 38 and 55, 20 games out of first. They're done. I think them and Houston Astros are eliminated. And you got another surprise in Seattle, 8 back, and they're 50 and 43. Who would have thought that? So probably the 3 surprising teams: Baltimore, Kansas City, and Seattle. Anaheim Angels are 2.5 out. Wild card. Toronto's a game and a half out from Anaheim and Seattle. Kansas City's 2.5. Cleveland 3.5. So that National League, probably the disappointing team. You really can't really say. Probably Milwaukee's a surprise. I would have thought either St. Louis, Cincinnati, or Pittsburgh would be. I would not have thought Milwaukee would be, but they're starting. They're on a losing streak right now. The disappointment in the National League. I don't think there really is any, and that's really with Philly, because I thought Philly would be in third. They could be be a pleasant. By the end of the year, it could be a pleasant surprise. So that we'll wait and see how that plays out. We're gonna end on this. Blackhawks this week they signed Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves. Both get 8 years, $84 million deals apiece. Raiders are talking new stadium, but the A's just signed that extension, so a lease extension. So if the Raiders do build, they're gonna have to give the A's some time, and that's interesting because they do need a new stadium, each of those teams. So that'd be interesting to see what happens. Just this week too, college football, Miami Hurricane guys got kicked off the team. They got arrested for sexual assault. The one was going to be seeing significant playing time too. And that's it. Coming up here in the next couple weeks, I plan on doing a preview of the NFL. See how I do picking who I think is going to win the whole thing. We got college football coming up, high school football, baseball's winding down. It'll be interesting to see at the trade deadline. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. Don't forget Friday night fireworks at Millersburg. Make up from July 3rd. Come on out. Should be a good time. The fireworks the last 3 years have been really good. So thanks again for watching and supporting what I'm trying to do here. Once football season starts around, we're going to be pumping out videos and talking lots of football. So again, thank you very much. And we'll see you next week. This is the Little Rippet Show, Little Rippet Network. Have a good rest of the weekend, and we'll see you next week. So long.